everyone, and welcome back to the 2018 Granny Square crochet along. Today we are making this lovely square called Mercury. Suggested in the pattern is 3 colours. Obviously you can do it all in one colour if you wish, or as many colours as you wish. The only thing to point out is if you're doing it in one colour, these little stitches here, these red and yellow stitches that you can see, they won't be very obvious if you do one colour. So yeah, I suggest that you do at least those 3 colours for those first few rounds. The only other thing to tell you today is for these first few rounds, because you're having to get into some tight spaces, I suggest, normally we suggest you use a 4.5mm hook for your squares, of an average tension to bring them up to 6 inches, but I suggest for these first few rounds that you go up a hook size, so I'm going to be using a 5mm hook for these first few rounds. Okay, I will tell you when I'm changing back to my 4.5mm. Okay, so grab your yarn and grab your hook and let's get started. Okay, so we're going to start with this blue round. We're going to do 2 rounds in this colour. I will tell you in this colour, but obviously if you want to change to a different colour, feel free, just pause the video and go ahead there. And the only other thing to tell you before we get going is that if you need to slow the video down and catch up or pause, up in the top or down below there is a function where you can slow the video right down and into, yeah, really quite slow, and you can hit the pause and rewind if you need to catch up, so don't forget those. So these first 2 rounds are going to be in the same colour, and I'm going to use this orange, but just to say that the magic circle isn't really suitable for this square. Sorry, I've got all my ends underneath here. Isn't really suitable for this square because it's designed to have this open centre. Okay, it's all part of the Mercury design here. So what we're going to do is move that out of the way. We are going to chain 8. So chain 8, and then so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then join into your first chain with a slip stitch to make your ring. And there we go, there's your ring. Okay, so go ahead, do that. Okay, and then you're going to chain 1. This doesn't count as a stitch, but you're going to chain 1, and then you're going to make 16 single crochets around this ring. So this is a good opportunity to work over your tail. So 16 single crochets over this ring. Okay, and I will get back to you when I have 16. And when you have your 16, you want to do a slip stitch into your first stitch. Now remember, this very first loop here is your chain, so you need to go into the next stitch along. So go into there and do a slip stitch, and that's your first round complete. You can pull your tail a little tighter just to pull that ring in slightly, but not too much because it just all bunches up. So there you go, that's round 1 completed. Okay, so for round 2 you want to chain 2, and this will act as a half double crochet, and then you want to chain another 2, which will be a chain 2 space. Okay, so chain of 4 there in fact, and then we're going to skip a single crochet, so that single crochet that you've chained sort of on top of next to you, you're going to skip that, and sorry, that is part of the stitch we're working, sorry, so you're going to skip the next one, and then you're going to do a half double crochet in the third one along. So the first one is where our chain comes from, then you've got the second one, and then the third one. You're going to do a half double crochet in there. So remember, that's just yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through, and then pull through all three. Now when you do a half double crochet or even a double crochet next to a chain, it's always a bit more tricky to get through that last loop, so just give it some encouragement to come through there. Okay, and then you're going to chain 2, and you're going to skip the next single crochet and do a half double crochet into the next. Okay, so you're going to do this all the way around, chain 2 and a half double crochet. You're going to skip a single crochet and a half double crochet in the next. Okay, so notice I have to go through 2 loops and then go through the last one separately. Okay, chain 2 and then a half double crochet in the second stitch along, and do that all the way around, and I'll meet you back to show you where to join on this chain. Okay, so you should have 8 of these half double crochets, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 8 lots of chain 2. And what we're going to do now, I've done my last chain 2. If you look at this first, we did a chain of 4. Remember, 2 of those counted as a half double crochet. So go into your second chain up, so 1, 2, and do your slip stitch in that chain there, and there you go. There's round 2 finished. There's your first 2 rounds, and now if you want to, it's a time to change colour. So I'm going to change to another colour, and we're going to be doing the red. So whichever you want, whatever colour you want to be, this ring and these little stitches here. Okay, so if you want to change colour, go ahead and do that right now. Okay, so I have changed my colour in the top of this chain here, and we are going to chain 1. That's not going to count as a stitch. And then in this same space here, so kind of where we had our first chain, so here we're going to do a single crochet. Okay, so a single crochet in the top of that chain there. Okay, and then you are going to do a chain. Make it a reasonable length chain, not a tiny chain, but make it a reasonable length chain. So chain 1, and now you're going to go behind this chain of your orange or your first colour, and you're going to do a single crochet in this stitch down here that we missed on the previous round. Okay, so the easiest way to do this is to put your hook behind, and then using this the actual hook part is to go pop your hook in from the front into the top of that stitch, and then push it through, and then if you look, you should have those 2 bars of your single crochet on your hook, and then you can do your single crochet as you normally would, and then you can see you've got this little bit of your stitch down here in that single crochet. Okay, and then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to do a single crochet on top of this half double crochet. So on the top of this half double crochet, oops, go into the right space. Okay, I'm going to do a single crochet on the top there, and then you're going to do another chain. Remember, do a reasonable length chain, not a tiny one. And then we're going to go into this next missed single crochet. So as again, because we're working behind this chain, you can either pull your chain right down here, but then kind of your stitches get a bit distorted and you're trying to find where you're going to go. So I find it easier to look from the front, put your hook into that stitch that you've missed, push it through, twist and turn, and then do your single crochet on there. And then again, go into the top of your half double crochet and do a single crochet, and then you're going to do another chain and go into this missed stitch. Okay, so hook through from the front, twist, you've got your stitch on the top there, do your single crochet, and then work your way to the end. So the next stitch will be in the top of this half double crochet, and then you're going to do a chain, and then you're going to go behind and into this missed stitch. So do that all the way around until you get round to this end here, and we'll finish this round together. Okay, and when you've done all of your single crochets and chain 2 spaces, you are going to go and do a slip stitch into your first single crochet. But if you look, the very first loop will be your chain, so go into the single crochet just here, go under there. First one's always a bit tight. Just pull it over with your finger or your nail if you need to. Go into there and do your slip stitch, excuse me. Excuse me. And that is the end of your round 3. Okay, so that was round 3. Now it doesn't look, you can't see much of the chains at the moment, but when we've done the next round you will see them. And as this red here makes this ring, our chains will make a ring around there. The chains of our colour we've just done. So the next colour that you change to will make these, see these little yellow, these sets of 2 yellow strands, and this next round, that's what we're making now. So go ahead and change your colour if you want to in the top of this single crochet here. So join your colour there and make a chain 1 with your first with your new colour. Okay, so if you're changing colour, change and do a single chain, and then we're going to move on to round 4. Okay, now even if you aren't changing colour, but I do suggest that you do where possible, because you will see these stitches. You wouldn't really notice these if you hadn't changed colour. Okay, so even if you're not changing colour, you still need to do a chain 1. Okay, and then in this same space as this single crochet, you're going to do a single crochet. I'm just going to work over that tail for a moment. So do a single crochet there. Okay, now this is where the pattern can seem tricky. Okay, you just need to work through it. So you might want to watch what I do and then pause the video and do it yourself. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to be working a double crochet excuse me, so a double crochet with our yarn over, and then you're going to be going under this last colour, so my cream, and then you're going to be going over the orange, the colour that you did your chain there with, and then into this space next to your little cream single crochet. Put it in and it will twist to the back, and then do your double crochet over that orange or whatever colour you're using, and then you're going to do a chain 3, and then you're going to do another double crochet on this side of your single crochet. So you might need to just give it a bit of a pull and make sure you've got a good space there. Just give it a bit of a pull over. Okay, so a yarn over for your double crochet, go under this cream, over the orange and into the space, twist your work round, and then do your double crochet over that chain, and there you will see you've got these 2 new colours there with your previous colour in between. So I've got beige, cream, and then beige. Okay, and then you're going to go straight into the top of your single crochet and do a single crochet, and then we're going to repeat these 2 double crochets. So I'll show you that again. Yarn over for your double crochet, go under this cream, over your chain space. Now remember, if, as we did before, if it's easier for you, use your hook and go under and pull your hook through. Okay, so now you're working at the back, yarn over, do your double crochet, and there you go. You can see the bottom of your double crochet is just there, and there, and then you're going to do a chain 3, and then we're going to go this side of this single crochet. So you might need to just give it a bit of a pull over make a space, so yarn over, go under this cream colour, over your orange, into that space, pull it through. Okay, so now we're working over this. You will have a bit of the cream yarn there that went over to do your single crochet. Don't worry about that. Pull through and do your double crochet. Okay, and then you're going to do a single crochet in the top of your single crochet. And then you're going to do it all over again. So I'll show you once more. So yarn over for your double crochet, go under this cream colour chain, and then you're going to go over this orange and into this space here. Twist your work, work from the back, do your double crochet, chain 3, and then pull this single crochet over slightly, make a space next to it on this side, yarn over for your double crochet, and then you're going to, you might need to just have a wiggle and a look at what you're doing, go under this cream colour, into that space, twist your work to the back and work your double crochet, and then a single crochet in this single crochet. Okay, so that's what you're going to do all the way around. So your next one is going to be your double crochet in this space, and then you're going to do chain 3, and then you're going to just pull this single crochet over and make a gap and do your double crochet there, and then a single crochet. Okay, if you need to, rewind the video about 3.5–4 minutes, and that will take you to the beginning here to do the rest of your double crochets, and I'll meet you around here and we'll finish off together. Okay, this last one can be slightly tricky, so if you're not sure where you're meant to go, or if you're meant to go, just count, and you need to finish with 8 of these chain spaces. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so and you need to finish there. And then because we started with a single crochet here, we're going to finish with a slip stitch in our single crochet, not our chain but our single crochet. So do your slip stitch there, and that is round 1, 2, 3, 4 finished. Round 4 finished. Just pull those out so you can see underneath what's going on there. So it's starting to look pretty good. You can see all these little stitches in between, and this is kind of the end of the most fiddly part of this pattern. So on the next round I'm going to change back to my usual 4.5mm hook. Okay, so we are on to round 5. Which is the rest of this yellow round here. So we've done these yellow stitches here, and then round 5 is the rest of this yellow. Now the original pattern does suggest changing colours for this round, but I find that if we change colour on this round, you're left with some really small stitches from this previous round that we've just done. So I'm going to stick with the same colour. If you want to change colour, do it in this where we've just finished, and change your colour there and get ready to start. So change your colour and chain 1 there if you want to. Otherwise I'm going to continue with this colour, and I'm going to chain 1 with this colour. Okay, so I've done my chain 1, and then in this same space where we had our single crochet, we are going to do a single crochet, and then we're going to move over. This is the top of our double crochet, and onto that we are going to do a double crochet. Oops, I was going to change hooks, wasn't I? Let me change hooks. Okay, changed hooks on my square would be too big, so we're going to go and do a double crochet on top of this double crochet, And then in our corner we are going to do, so our corner is one of these chain spaces. We are going to do 2 double crochet. If you've been following our following us for since January, or even for a few days, you will find that most squares at the corner, to make a corner you need to do some stitches and chains, then some more stitches, and we're doing that here. So 2 double crochet, 2 chains and 2 double crochets. That is your first corner. And then you are going to do a double crochet on top of the next double crochet, and then you are going to do a single crochet on top of the next 2 stitches. So we've got our single crochet here, a single crochet on top of that, and a single crochet on top of your double crochet. Okay, done that in the wrong stitch there. So a single crochet on top of all of those stitches. Okay, and then in this space we are going to do 4 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4 single crochets, and we're going to do 2 single crochets on the next 2 stitches. So 1 on this one and 1 on the next one. Oops. And then for our double crochet we are going to do a double crochet. Good job getting into my stitches today. So we're going to do a double crochet on there. There we go. Okay, and now we are going to do our corner. So that's 2 double crochets. 1, 2, chain 2, and another 2 double crochets. Okay, so what we're doing is our corner is 2 double crochets, 2 chains, 2 double crochets, and then 1 double crochet on your stitch, and then 2 single crochets, 4 in the chain space, 2 single crochets, 1 double, and then your corner. Okay, so your next thing to do will be 1 double crochet. So basically you're doing a double crochet next to your corner as you come out of your corner, and you're doing a double crochet as you go into your corner, and the rest are all single crochets. Okay, so all of them single crochets apart from the first and the last stitch. Okay, and 4 in your space. So do that all the way around, and I will meet you back at the beginning. Okay, so when you get back round to the beginning, you are going to do your last single crochet, and then you're going to slip stitch into your first single crochet, which is just here. So where are we? There we go. So you're going to do a slip stitch into that first single crochet. Might be a bit tight as it's your first stitch. Do a single crochet into, sorry, a slip stitch into there, and then that's the end of, was it round 5? There we go. And this is how it's looking so far. And I'm going to change colour. So if you want to change colour, go ahead and do that in this space here right now. Okay, so this is where the pattern gets so much easier. We are just going to be doing some double crochets. Okay, now this is a round where you can work over some of your ends, so it's a good round for that. So double crochet, so we're going to chain 3 to start this round. Okay, so chain 3, and then you are going to do that counts as our double crochet on top of this single crochet. and then you're going to do a double crochet on top of the next 3 stitches. So the next 3 stitches, double crochet. So 1, 2, 3, there we go. So oops, hold my tails. So double crochet on top of the next 3 stitches. 2 and 3. The only thing with working over your tails is making sure you don't actually pull them through with your working yarn. So chain 3 and 3 double crochets, and then in your corner you're going to do a double crochet and a chain 2 and another double crochet. Nice and simple. And then you're going to work back along this side, and you are going to do a double crochet in every stitch, because this bit here that looks like it's sort of domed, as you work along it will sort of stretch out and become straight. So you have 14 stitches here. You're going to do a double crochet in every stitch, and then in your corner you're going to do double crochet, chain 2 and a double crochet, and you're going to do that all the way around until you get back around here, and I'll meet you back around to the beginning. So a double crochet all the way along, nice and simple, 14 double crochets and your corner, and I'll meet you back around here. Okay, so I've worked all my double crochets around, and then we're going to do a slip stitch in the 3rd chain of this starting chain as we usually do, and so let's just pull that through and through, and that is round 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 done. Now if you fancy changing colours, feel free, go ahead and change it in this space where we've just finished. So if I show you here, we've done all of this, and I've just done we've just done this blue round. So this blue here is what we've just done. So we've got another row of double crochets to go, and then we will be doing a row of single crochets. This yellow is single crochet, so I'm going to change for that row, but it's up to you. If you want to change for this row, go ahead, do that, and then we'll get started. So this row is basically a repeat of what we've just done, except that this time we're going to have 16 double crochets along the side, because it's obviously we're increasing. In our corners we're still doing 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet, chain 2, 1 double crochet. So do your chain 3, which counts as your first double crochet, and then you'll be going into your next stitch. So we're going to be doing a double crochet in the top of this one. Let's get you started here. Double crochet in the next one, and in every stitch along the side, all the way around until you get back to the beginning, and then you'll be doing, as always, your slip stitch in your top chain. So 1, 2, 3, top chain. So all the way around your corner, remember, is a double crochet, chain 2 and a double crochet. Okay, so all the way around, and I will meet you back at the beginning. Okay, so as always we're going to do a slip stitch in the 3rd chain at the top of our starting chain. Do your slip stitch into there, and I'm going to change colour for the next round. Okay, I'll just show you on here what the next round is. So I don't know what's happened to my focus, guys, sorry about that. So our next round is going to be this yellow round of single crochets. So if you want to change your colour, do that now. Okay, so I changed my colour and I've done a chain 1. But chain 1 does not count as a stitch. You need to do a single crochet in the top of that stitch, or the top of that previous chain. Okay, it's a single crochet on top of this previous chain, and then on top of the next one we're going to do a single crochet. We're doing single crochets all the way around this time instead of double crochets. So you're going to do single crochet in every stitch all the way to the corner. So single crochet in every stitch all the way to the corner, and then in the corner you're going to do 3 single crochets. 1, 2 and 3, and I'm just working over my tails here because I'm working with the same colour as the previous round, which is this cream colour, and the colour that I'm using for this round. None of it will be very noticeable at all on the back there. So and as I'm doing a closed in round rather than lots of gaps, I can work over those tails quite nicely. So you're going to do your corner of 3 single crochets, and then you're going to do a single crochet all the way along this side. You've now got 18 stitches on that side, and then when you get to your corner you're going to do 3 single crochets, and then 18 along here, 3 single crochets in the corner, 18 single crochets along here, and then you're going to do your single crochets all the way back up here, and we'll meet back at the beginning here. Okay, and then you're going to do a slip stitch in your first single crochet, not your chain but your single crochet. Okay, so single slip stitch in that single crochet, and that's the end of that round. So depending on what size your square is so far, there should be about 1 more round to go, and that's a round of half double crochets, and we're going to be working into the back loop only, which I will show you how to do. But if I show you on this this one here, if you just put my hook out, if you can see on here we've got this kind of this line going along on the front here. That's because we've left the front loop and we've only worked into the back. So if you see here, there are 2 loops. We've only worked into this back loop here. So this is our back loop, and this one here is our front loop. So we've left all these front loops here, which means it gives us this nice texture on that row. I think you can probably just about pick that up on camera. It gives us that really nice texture. Okay, and as we've got all this kind of texture going on here, it kind of adds to that whole effect, which is rather nice. So I'm going to change colour one last time. So if you want to change colour, do that now, and then we'll get going on our very last round. Okay, so I've just changed my colour, and we're going to chain 1. If you haven't changed colour, then just do a chain 1. Now if you haven't got if your square is nearly up to size, that the size you want, then you could do this round in single crochets, if you don't need to do much of a round, much depth. If you've got more depth to go, you could do it in double crochets. Okay, if you're doing single crochets, you'll do a chain 1. If you're doing half double crochets, which I'm going to do, still do 1 chain. If you're doing a double crochet, then do 3 chains. Okay, and then what we're going to do is, in this same in the single crochet from this first round, what you're going to do, this first stitch is always the trickiest, but if you see here, turn it sideways, if you see here, you have got 2 bars. Okay, now this one at the front is your front loop, and the one at the back is obviously your back loop. So you're going to miss this front one and go into the back one. Now that going in quite easily. If it doesn't go in as easily, you can use your hook and take it backwards and go under like that. Okay, but I'm going to do half double crochet, so it's a yarn over, insert into that back loop, pull through, and then pull through all three. Okay, and you can see it leaves this front loop left behind. Okay, so again, go into your back loop, so not this front one, but go into the back loop, and you can see my tails here. I'm working under those, working around those as well. Oh, I'm doing half double crochets, aren't I? Half double crochet. Okay, so there we go, and pull through, and then we're going to do another one. So back loop only, pull through. So remember, you could do this as any stitch you want to. It's up to you whether you want to add another round afterwards of the same size stitch, or whether you want to do the half double crochet with me now and then do a smaller stitch on the next round if it still isn't quite the size you need. It's completely up to you, whatever works best for you. Okay, so continue working in those back loops only, and then when we get to the corner, we are going to, if you find at your corner, you can see you've got the loops from your stitches, so 2 loops from each stitch. So you want to do your back loop only in the first stitch. Let's get my tails. Back loop only. Nope, half double crochet. Oh my goodness, getting all confused with the different size stitches today. So that's our first one. And now in our second stitch, which is our middle stitch of the corner, we are going to do 3 of these stitches. 1, 2, and okay, so 3 half double crochets in your corner or whatever stitch you are doing, and then we're going to continue all the way along the side, doing 1 stitch in each stitch along, going into the back loop. So just remind you, see these 2 loops here, see these 2 loops here, you're going to go miss this front one and go into the back. Okay, and remember, if you're having a job to separate them, either use your nail and separate them, or use the hook backwards and go through there like so. Okay, just as we did on some of our stitches down here. Okay, so follow your square all the way around, doing 1 half double crochet or your choice of stitch in each stitch all the way around, and then when you get to your corner, remember you're going to find your middle stitch and do 3 stitches in that back loop. So not this front loop, just the back loop, and you're going to work all the way around. And if you see here, you can see I've got this nice kind of a line going around the front of my work, which are all those front loops that we've left behind. It gives a really nice effect. So work your way all the way around, and I'll meet you back near the beginning to do our last few stitches together. Okay, and then you're going to do a slip stitch in the top of your first stitch, not your chain. Don't get confused with the chain. Do a slip stitch there, and if it's the size that you need your square to be, the square should, if you're using the same hook and yarn for all of our squares, it should come up at about 15 centimeters or 6 inches. So let's have a quick look. There we go, so it's about my 15 centimeters by the time I block it. Okay, so if it's the size you want, give it a fasten off. If you need to do additional rounds, then feel free to do that, whichever size stitches you need. So I'm just going to fasten mine off now, and just leaves me time to say, if you have enjoyed this and found it useful and helpful, then don't forget to give us a thumbs up. If you haven't already, then hit that subscribe button and be notified of when we have our new videos out. And details in the description box below of the Facebook group, where you can upload photos of your lovely squares and join in with the chat there. A new pattern and diagram every day for the rest of the year. And there's also already sort of 65, 66 files on there of previous squares. And all of those squares are in the playlist on the YouTube channel as well. So until next time, guys, just keep cooking and don't let your tea get cold.